Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are for another exciting episode on Sunday the 10th of June 2018, and we are going to jump straight into it this week with a release from the guys over at A2A Simulations. Well, it's not really a release, it's more of a re-release as it were. So the guys from A2A have been slowly but surely bringing their catalog up to being fully compatible with Prepared, and their latest addition to the Prepared V4 collection is of course their version of the AccuSim Spitfire Mark 1 and 2. Now this one's coming in, so it's available. A couple of things, points to note about this. Now, unlike their previous ports and compatibilities of their products, this is the first time that they've done which is P3D V4 exclusive. So it is not compatible with Prepared's versions 1, 2, or 3. So this is only compatible with, there is a separate FSX version, and then there is a separate Prepared V4 version. There is also separate versions for academic and professional editions of Prepared. So, couple of points about this. Now, A2A have long done different versions. Well, actually, no, they're not different versions. They are exactly the same versions, but a different pricing tier for those people who purchase the academic license of Prepared versus those who purchase the professional version license of Prepared. That's a whole. Which license you should purchase is a whole discussion we are not going to get into on this episode. However, it has been pretty standard practice for A2A to put a 10 to 40 US dollar difference in price between the two versions. Even though there is absolutely no difference between them, it is simply which version of Prepared that you, as the end user, actually use. So this one is coming in, this one is no exception. So we have the standard price for this one as Prepared V4 Academic is 50 US dollars, and for Prepared V4 Professional is 80 US dollars. Again, as I said, I'd like to point out that there is no difference between them. Currently, though, there is a $10 discount as a launch introductory special, which, by the way, is very rare for A2A to do discounts, by the way, so just take note of that. They are also offering a bundle if you did want to purchase this with your and pick up an FSX version of it as well. So you can pick up both the Prepared V4 version and the FSX version with the Prepared V4 Academic version for 70 US dollars, or the Prepared Professional version for 100 US dollars. Now, I'm going to be straight up here and say I love this aircraft. It is amazing. It is without doubt the most incredibly detailed simulation of a Spitfire around. There is absolutely no question on that. There is absolutely none. And as a product, it is amazing. It is outstanding. I have the FSX version. I've flown it myself many hours of getting to know the systems and wondering why my engine was blowing up and was overheating on the ground. But I have a fundamental problem here with this release. Now, the reason for that is the fact that this is being launched, this is being rebooted as a Prepared V4 only release. So for those who are still using Prepared V3 or V2, which there are still a lot of users, especially of V3, you're screwed. You got nothing. You got no option. Sorry, too bad. See you later. And considering the fact that this is the first time that they've made everything exclusive to V4, now I know there is the argument that, oh, it's 32-bit versus 64-bit, and it's like, well, sorry, you also have the FSX version, which is very much a 32-bit simulator, so you don't, that excuse doesn't apply. The other problem I have here as well is the fact that there appears, now I can't guarantee this, there appears to be no discount for anyone who previously owns the FSX version of the Spitfire. There also appears to be no actual changes or improvements or updates with this reboot release. The only thing that appears to be done, and this is only from it is not in any of the changelog or any of the documentation that I can find. It was simply there with the fact that looking at the screenshots that are provided, there is one of the cockpit which shows a very specific lighting type, which is which I don't recall seeing with the actual, like, pilot torch light, which is I don't recall seeing in the FSX version that I have. So, as I said, I want to stipulate this by saying, do not get me wrong, this is without doubt the single most, and I will caveat this by saying I have not flown the DCS version of the Spitfire, but this is without doubt, from what the absolute best rendition of the Mark 1 or Mark 2 Spitfire that you can get out there. End of discussion. There is no discussion about that. How, and I love the team at A2A. I've had the pleasure to meet many of them and spend time with them and work with them over the last many years that I've been doing this. But this decision really does disappoint me. And again, it's a concern that I have for the way they're treating the community. As I said, again, do not let me take it away from the quality of the aircraft. The quality of the aircraft is absolutely outstanding, and seeing it in prepared V4 is a long overdue thing to see, and it's great that it's finally got there. But as I said, it's a bit of a shame that they've decided to make it exclusive to V4. So, just a personal issue. Anyway, if you are wanting to get this one up, as I said, it is currently available with a $10 discount, whichever version you are picking up. But just remember, that is that tiered pricing based on which version of prepared you have and whether you want to pick up the FSX version for fun along the way as well. So if you would want to pick that up, it's available now from the A2A Simulation Store. Available now. Alrighty, sticking with the ESP platforms for the moment and moving to the guys over at FSim Studios. They've released their latest airport to the market in the release of Tocumen International Airport, which of course is the international airport servicing Panama City, capital of Panama. Funny story, that. So this airport also serves as the home base for Copa Airlines and is a regional hub to and from many Caribbean, South North American and Central American destinations, as well as the occasional trip to Europe. This is a pretty stock standard stuff that we see from the guys over at FSim Studios. Very highly detailed renditions of the buildings. Accurate terminal layout as it appears at the start of 2018, it appears too, because it does also include the New South Terminal, at least in its construction form, so it's not actually finished yet, which is pretty cool. It does include also a cargo and maintenance area, including the customized hangars for Copa Airlines and DHLs. FBOs have been modeled as well. Customized static aircraft have been included for the airport as well, along with SOD animated jetways, volumetric grass, and customized lighting. Now, this one does include the full gambit of the ESP platform, so we're catering for FSX, FSX Edition, and Prepared 3 and 4 as well. So, a good slew of options available here. And again, there's something that we see regularly from the FSim guys. Their work is always really solid on the airport itself. The airport buildings are always very beautifully done, very highly detailed. We've got beautiful renditions of the airport and the surrounding area. Again, the only thing that I always pick, and it's always a struggle with using photoreal scenery. Some of the photoreal looks a little bit grainy, but photoreal is always a devil to work with. So, I'm not going to take that away from it. Otherwise, it is, as I said, it is an outstanding rendition of this airport. If you don't want to pick this one, it's coming in at about $23 US, or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with the ESP platforms, so the guys over at FSDG have brought out the final installment of their Pilots of the Caribbean set. So this set has been coming to us for quite a while. We've had 2 airports come out for this set over the last few months, and they of course were the FSDG St. Vincent and St. Lucia, and this rounds out the series by being the Pilots of the Caribbean Adventure Pack. So this is a series of missions using various default and sort of customized aircraft, as well as customized models as well, and some additional scenery for a fictional Pirates Cove south of St. Vincent. Includes a new amphibious R22 model as well, which is something that we don't have in FSX, but I believe it is in X-Plane somewhere. Includes also AI aircraft and AI schedules for some actual airlines that visit those areas, and looking pretty cool, pretty interesting. I've always sort of, I never used to like mission packs. I never used to. But I've become more interested with them as the years have gone on, and it's. I actually think this one looks pretty cool and pretty interesting. Now, if you, as I've said previously, when we've talked about the releases of the scenery packs for this, if you wanted to pick this one up standalone, you can pick this one up. It's coming in pretty cheap. It's only 11 euro, 11 US dollars, 10 euros, 11, 12 US dollars. So a pretty good deal. Otherwise, you can pick it up as a pack as part of a Pirates of the Caribbean bundle pack, which includes both of the scenery packs previously released, along with the adventure pack as well. So that one's coming in at, let me just do a quick calculation here. It's coming in at about 38 US dollars by my rough mathematics there. And it's a pretty, as I said, it's a pretty interesting set. If you like the look of, the scenery, it might be a great thing, something a little different to get with the mission packs. There you go. So yes, this is the one that's available now from FSDG or from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now. Alright, moving on with other releases for the ESP platform. So the guys over at Orbix have brought out there. Now this was actually a release that actually I just missed it when I was making last week's show. So this is kind of a bit of a holdover from last week's one. But this is one of my local airports, and I'm really excited that they've actually brought this one out, because this is a project that I knew they've been working on for a number of years. And it was when I saw the cityscape of the cityscape scenery come out of the Gold Coast, go to Gold Coast region, I was very interested and excited, and then we, of course, and then it's that's when they sort of first publicly sort of confirmed that they were going to be making Gold Coast Airport. And it is now finally with us, and looking pretty damn amazing. So not only do you get the highly detailed rendition of Gold Coast International Airport, also previously known as Coolangatta Airport, which is actually funny where the IK identifier comes from. But yeah, it's International Australian Airport. Primarily, it's for international flights. It mostly uses low-cost carriers. Otherwise, it is primarily a domestic airport. But it straddles the actual physical airport itself, and this is really cool and interesting. The actual airport is actually in 2 states. So what that means is that one side of the airport is in one time zone during the summer months, and the other side of the airport is in a different time zone. Really weird, really kind of cool. Officially, I do believe it actually takes on New South Wales time during the summer months, but it's just physically though, it's really weird, kind of cool. Random local piece of information for you. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, I do actually have been very gratefully provided a review copy of this, so look out for a review of this coming out very, very soon. But yes, it's coming out with a highly detailed, very accurate version of, from what I can tell so far, of the airport with all the airport buildings. Along with, it is fully compatible with the AI traffic set that is available from Orbix for Australia as well. Ground textures in up to 15 centimeter per pixel resolution as well. 7 centimeter Ultra HD at the bonus airport. You actually get 2 airports with this one. You also get a small GA field to the north, which is Southport Airport or Yankee Sierra Papa Tango, with a sloped runway, which is kind of cool and interesting. You get 7 centimeter photo reel for that one as well. Fully compatible with Orbix Australia and designed to be used with Orbix City and Gold Coast as well. So a lot of really cool, interesting stuff here. Full release, full support at release for FSX, FSX Steam Edition, and Prepared. All versions of Prepared 1 through 4. So this one is available now over at Orbix, coming in at 35 Australian dollars, or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix. Moving out of the ESP world and moving into the world of X-Plane, but sticking with Orbix. So Orbix have continued on with their explorations into the world of X-Plane by releasing their first Australian scenery for X-Plane. In this one, they have brought out one of their early works, one of their classic works, at Broome International Airport. They've brought this one over to X-Plane 11. So Broome is a bit of background. Broome is an airport which is in the northwest and Western Australia. It really is in the middle of nowhere, so it serves as a very important hub for operations in and around Western Australia and the Northern Territory. It also includes international flights coming in from parts of Southeast Asia as well, but also a lot of GA and sort of mining and sort of mining support, and even some sort of tourist helicopter and search and rescue support helicopters coming out of here as well. The actual town itself also serves as a trading hub. A lot of resources being exported out of there, but just generally also serves as a really beautiful part of the world. Like, it is absolutely spectacularly beautiful part of the world. It really, really is. And of course, the guys over at Wix have captured this one in beautiful, beautiful high detail as well. Now, there's been included a lot of so the entire Broome Township has been included, as well as the Dampier Peninsula, as well as lots of local landmarks has been included here as well. So we got HD imagery of anything down to as detailed as 7 centimeter per pixel photo reel. Color balance includes the entire town of Broome, 15 unique static aircraft for the area. We've got local landmarks, as I said before, custom vegetation for the area, and has some hand-placed regionalized autogen has been included as well. So a really beautiful detail. I was always a fan of this one in the ESP space, in Prepared and FSX. So it's great to see this one make its way over onto X-Plane. So I'm really looking forward to having a look at this one if I get a chance. Now, this one is coming in at a pretty standard price for these guys, coming in at $32.95 for Australian dollars, or your regional equivalent, again from the Orbix store, available now. Alright, continuing on with X-Plane releases and moving on with more scenery. So the guys over at Aerosoft have released their latest X-Plane 11 scenery, which comes to us from the developer of Lime Sim and Starport Sceneries. So Helgoland is Germany's only island in the open sea with an extremely high level of detail. I believe they've done this scenery for the ESP Platforms previously. And actually, they're now bringing it across to X-Plane. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I believe that is the case. But yes, essentially, the island is actually really just nothing more than actually a dune of sand that's sort of risen out of the ocean. Now, interesting little trivia. Previously, apparently, runway 21 was previously blocked by a high sand dune that is actually no longer there. It's actually been sort of blown away, which is very interesting. But yes, and the waves now break over over the edge of the runways, which is kind of interesting, kind of cool, and interesting sort of seeing how like scenery changes. It's a shame they don't do a different time thing like that in the sim. That would be kind of cool. But yes, Helgoland's main claim to fame as being a hub for engineers coming in for supporting green energy. So there's a lot of offshore wind farms, as well as oil rigs and supporting in the North Sea. So it serves a lot of its time as a search and rescue home, as well as a hub for all the workers and engineers coming to all those places as well. So yeah, people sort of come out there for its quirks and its interests, as well as engineering practice as well. So it's a very interesting spot in the middle of nowhere. Now this includes detailed aerial imagery as it appears. I believe it looks like sometime 1617, which is interesting. But yeah, it includes 1 meter mesh resolution of the island, including which includes the renditions of the sand dunes around the island. You get the airfield with all its extremely detailed, extremely short runways. Airport buildings have been included. You get search and rescue helicopters and a German Navy frigate, which has been animated, which looks like it may have been animated as well. It's got animated ship and traffic performance, as well as animated ship and ferry traffic, as well as 3D people have included. Not only is the island detailed as well, you also get the offshore Southern Harbour Energy Group hub, which is landable as well as 4 offshore wind farms and 4 oil platforms with their own helipads, also all landable. So this is going to be an interesting sort of little destination island to go to. So yeah, kind of cool, kind of interesting. And this one's coming in at $25 from Aerosoft. Now, interestingly enough, normally Aerosoft release their content available sort of on their own web store, and then a couple of weeks later they'll release it over on Steam. They haven't done that this time around. It's been a simultaneous release, so it is available both available from the Aerosoft store, from the Xplane.org store, and from the Steam store, all available, all at the same price, all coming in, as I said, at $25 available now. In other X-Plane 11 releases this week, the guys over at Alabao have been on a bit of a roll. They've brought out their Cessna 207 Skywagon to X-Plane 11. So this is a beautiful sort of fixed undercarriage Cessna. It's a bit bigger than some of the older some of the Cessnas that we might be used to, like the 172s for training and things like that. This one's more of a commuter sort of more of a passenger kind of aircraft. But yes, it's bigger cabin, and it's sort of bigger wings, and it's spats covered landing gear. It makes it a very impressive sight. Still a popular aircraft, even to this day. Now, as usual, as we come to expect from Alabao and their sister company, Carinado, we're coming through with a very high quality model, beautiful HD liveries, including full realization and full taking advantage of the full PBR effect, lighting effects from X-Plane 11. Fully compatible with the default avionics, as well as fully compatible with Reality XP's GTN 750 as well. And as I said, beautiful, as usual, a beautiful sound set provided for the aircraft as well. So pretty damn awesome, pretty damn amazing, as we've come to expect from Alabao. Coming in, this one's available now from their website or your favorite flight sim retailer, available now for $30 US, or your regional equivalent, available now. Alright, moving away from the world of flight simulation and moving into the world of the permanent way with Train Simulator. So the guys over at Train Simulator have released a couple of products this week. So the first one was a new route add-on, which was the Kyle line, which is Inverness to Kyle of Lochalish route. I've tried saying that 3 times quickly. All right, so this route is a very old route, sort of going through the area of Kyle of Lochash, which is its history goes back to the 1860s. So 1860s, 1870s, when it was the 1860s when it was first approved. To connect, to have a rail branch to connect Dingwall and Skye through to Inverness, and actually sort of serve that as a good economic and very much a economic and industrial improvement for the area, and for it become through that one. Unfortunately, it would go through, cause a bit of a scandal at the time, because it meant going through some land which is owned for some very wealthy landowners, but it did eventually get approved and would actually eventually be created. And the final section, which would culminate in the new line, reaches intended terminus of Kyle of Lochash, but would not actually end up being built actually until the late 1890s, and they actually become opened. So it's an interesting little quirk that I realized when I was doing the research for this, that final segment, that final extension, was the most expensive per mile piece of railroad in British rail history at the time. So very interesting, expensive thing, especially for Scotland. But there you go. It was actually scheduled to be closed down in the 60s and 70s, because there was just very few people actually using it, and then sort of they not sort of seen the gains that people had hoped it would have. In the end, though, the oil rigs that were being constructed in Scotland, and the workforce needed to support them, and the materials needed to support them, would actually end up being the things to survive it. So that preserved that line and kept it in operation as it does today. So very interesting thing, and as I said, it winds through a very beautiful part of the world, going through in Scotland, in Inverness, and in Scotland. It's just absolutely beautiful part of the world. It really is. Now, this includes various things. Not only does it include the 83-mile route from Kyle of Lochash, from Inverness to Kyle of Lochash, it also includes its radio electronic token block, or RETIB, signaling system. 17 stations, including the shortest platform in the United Kingdom. Includes a Class 37 traction and Westinghouse M8 air brake system on one of its vehicles as well. A Class 37 vehicle with its Westinghouse M8 brake system included. Sorry, I misread that one. It includes 6 engaging career scenarios, as well as 2 free roam scenarios, and again, as usual, fully compatible with Steam Workshop scenarios as well. So, pretty cool, pretty interesting, very beautiful looking set, this one. I don't know if they've done much of a graphical update lately, but it does seem to be looks prettier at the moment. The visuals seem to be a lot nicer as well. So there you go. So yes, this one is available now. So coming in normally at $40 US, although at a launch special of 20% off, coming in at $32 US, or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. In the second release for the Train Simulator world this week, we saw the release of the South Wales Coastal Scenario Pack. So this is like many of the scenario packs that come out for Train Simulator. Coming in at $10 US, gives you 10 challenging career scenarios with this one as well. But as always, these scenarios are, of course, have other requirements in order to make full use of them. So this one, of course, is no exception. This one, as a bare minimum, requires the South Wales coastal Bristol to Swansea route. But it also requires, if you want to be able to use all 10 of the scenarios, you do have to have also the Arriva Trains Wales DMU pack, the BR Class 150 DMU add-on, and the cross-country Class 220 Voyager DMU. So, just as I said, just if you are probably if you are a fan of South Welsh Railway, you probably have all of those. But if you don't, just bear that in mind before you do pick that one up to make full use of this pack. But this pack is available now, $10 available now on Steam. Alright, leaving the grounds of the Permanent Way and moving into something still at ground level, of course, we're moving on to Euro Truck Simulator 2. So it's been a while since we've seen some add-on content come out from these guys, and they have not disappointed us by coming out with some Portuguese paint jobs this week. So again, like their normal sort of paint packs that they release, this comes with 4 different new liveries for some trucks for your Euro Truck fleet. Now this one coming in at $1 the different, you get a couple of, you of course get the traditional Portuguese flag one, as well as a rooster, a flag decal kind of covering the whole truck, and a world exploring one, sort of harking back to some of the Portuguese history there. Like usual, this one's coming in at $1 to pick up these 4 paint jobs for your flight simulation, for your truck simulation experience, but also coming in at a 20% off launch special, so 80 cents if you do pick it up now, available now on Steam. Alright, sticking again with ground level, moving something a bit faster though. The guys over at Playway and Red Dot Games have released their latest DLC for Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. So apparently a lot of the bugs from Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 have been fixed, and so the extra vehicle is now going to be available for you to pick up for your vehicle, for your car mechanic needs. Now this one of course is no exception. So this brings us 4 classic vehicles, or 4 licensed Ford vehicles, 2 classics and 2 possible new classics. I'm not sure about one of them at least, but anyway. So we get 2 classics, which is the 1971 Ford Mustang Mark I and the 1964 Ford GT40. The original that Mustang Mark I is just, it does look outstanding. I've been fortunate enough to see one in up close and personal about 10 years ago. I believe it was one of only a few in Australia, and it was just a beautiful thing to behold. As well as that, you also get the 2017 Ford F350 Super Duty and the 2017 Ford Mustang, which I'm honestly not as impressed by. The other 2 I'm impressed by, those 2 new ones not as much. But yes, it comes with a fully interactive. You can you can tune the engines, you can extract the engines, get all the parts out as you do with the Car Mechanic Simulator experience, which is always nice to have. But yeah, if you wanted to add this one to your possible garage of cars to disassemble and reassemble, looking at $6 for this title, available now on Steam. And rounding out the simulation release news for this week's, the guys over at Milestone have come out with, once again, they rebooted their new one for MotoGP 2018, or MotoGP 18. Milestone have been producing the MotoGP series for quite a while. They've also got the sort of the motocross licensed simulation games as well. More recently, though, they were sort of known for Ride 2 as well. So these guys come from a very much a established heritage of producing a decent quality game. Unfortunately, though, it's getting a lot of negative press at the moment, and it's interesting. Like, they're really light on detail this time. Like, normally they give, legions of detail about what's included, what features, and they basically rattle off an entire feature list of what they've updated and what they've improved over the previous iteration the year before. But this year is notably short of that. Notably, as in, like, the summary of the product isn't even a paragraph. Like, it's... The only thing that they seem to mention is the fact that they do have all 19 of the 2018 official tracks in there, including the new circuit in Thailand. But that's it. Like, they really don't talk about anything. It seems to look pretty cool. But as I said, the reviews it's getting are pretty rough. Everything from issues with the physics engine to it not supporting controllers, like, you know, the steering wheels and pedals and stuff that people that you know that use these games a lot used to are just not there. So it's interesting. So yeah, I as I said, I was surprised at how much negative stuff was out there. So interesting. But I'm not a driving simulator game person, so I probably won't be having a look at this. But yeah, it's interesting. Visually, it looks beautiful, but we'll see. If you are wanting to pick this one up, though, this one's available for $50 available now on Steam. And with that news, it does round out the release news for this week. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.